Welcome back, Warriors. Welcome back to another episode of Vigor Warriors 2, or the 1% Club, when I'm starting to call it. I think that being in the 1% is a good thing. And so I'm honored to be able to kind of talk to my friends and subscribers here. And we're going to talk about an issue today about two ways that women look at men, view men. And I saw a couple different interesting things on this. And I also kind of talked to some people about it. And so we're going to talk about this. I'm also going to address a question from one of our good subscribers, Sanna Mati. And if I got it wrong, I apologize, but Sanna Mati. And he had a great question about whether that it's a myth or not between days 45 or 90, something like that. And let me address that first. But first, subscribe, like, and comment, because I do comment. And as you can see, I'm going to kind of address a couple of questions that some of our viewers had. But when it comes to long term, what I experienced a lot of benefits within the first 7 to 14 days, and I think that's kind of normal. You have to realize you're in a different world. You're in a different situation because you're focusing so much and brainwashed so much on images and how things look, and your dopamine levels are all attracted to those images that you have. And so you're really getting excited and all kinds of adrenaline's flowing because of pictures. They're not even real, right? And you've seen a lot of TikToks on there and different things. I saw the other day where people are putting makeup on and they look nothing like they do. And we'll talk about that in a different video with the illusions that people have. But everything is an illusion, gang. And you're getting stimulated by an illusion. So because of that, they're not real. And because they're not real, you're living in a different type of world. So if you get away from that, even for a week or so, and say for example even a month away from television, or a month away from the computer and the phone, your life is going to be totally different, because all of a sudden you're going to see increased change in things that happen. But as you continue with this, your lifestyle changes, and so the benefits after a number of days, to my mind, increase. Now, will it stagnate over some point in time? Maybe I'm at 481 or 2 days. I can't remember. I have to go back and look. But it's only gotten better, because I have kind of moved from images and actually releasing everything to now hard mode, where I'm doing none of that. I'm not even thinking about that. I'm trying to avoid that. And so that's working okay. I relapsed a little bit into that hard mode, and now I'm back again hard mode. So that's another struggle, one of those struggles that I'm going through my end of it. I mean, there's no release, but it's more of a case of not even thinking about it. What comes up, trying to transmute it right away and get out of that. So I'm moving in that direction a lot better than I was before. And so I have seen huge changes. But once you hit, when you're talking about NoFap and you're talking about, retention after 45, 90 days, in my mind, it just gets better. Now, why is that? Well, it gets that way because you're really kind of focusing on your level of confidence. What this is doing, and I go back to the 3 C's we talked about, right? Control, confidence, and communication. When you start doing this, your level of confidence gets better, and now you're willing to try to take control of other things in your life. And so the benefits all around you are just going to go and increase. Your attraction is going to go higher, your value is going to go higher, because you're also got confidence that's related to all this. And people see that. You're not afraid to take chances. You're not afraid to say how you feel. You're not afraid to do those things that you might have been afraid to before. And so, yes, it's not really a myth. To my mind, everything will change for the better for you when you do this. And so it doesn't matter if it's 400 days or like Malcolm X, I believe, did 12 years. Tyson did 5 years. Muhammad Ali did several years. So I don't think it doesn't get worse. It's not a myth. It will get better. Now, it depends what you're looking for, my friends. At my age, I'm not looking for relationships like you guys might be in your 20s and 30s. So in 20s and 30s, if you're looking for a person, that will increase But you have to remember, you also are making a sacrifice at some level. Because what you're doing is you're finding the right kind of person, and you may have decided at some point, am I going to release with this person or not? Obviously, it hurts your game if you're going to go back and release, because now you got to start again. Now, you don't always lose all that, but still, you're going back and forth all the time. This is why it's very important to kind of sit and realize in brahmacharya and those things that if you go ahead and say one or the other, then you're going to go back and relapse different times. And so you have to make sure that if you have one person or you happen to be married, those type of things, you're able to control. So the answer to the question is, and a long-winded here, Sanna, is yes. It is not a myth. It is the actuality that it gets better as time goes on. So I hope I answered that. I know we were long on this one. Let's go ahead now talk about our issue that we want to talk about. 2 views that women have of men. Now let's take this from the viewpoint of the one you want to be and the one you don't want to be. Obviously, you want the woman to want to do what they do, and I don't mean to sound cold or hard on this thing, but you want women to really be attracted to you so you can have children at some point. That should be the goal if you're having a long-term relationship. If you're still into the one, single night, one night stand type of stuff, your chances of losing energy go extremely up. I would not recommend that anymore. Now, I'm an old guy, so it might be something that you want to look at and think about yourself, but you have to I kind of had to move away from all that thought pattern to be able to kind of say that I'm going to keep my energy. So you want women, however, that want to be attracted. You're going to be like that on your journey. They're going to be excited because they're going to look at you and say, okay, here's a person that I know is keeping their seed. I know they're a person that's fertile. They know that. Now, whether you decide that this is the kind of person that you actually want to have children with and all that, that's going to be your choice. But the women will approach you. They'll be very nice to you. Ever since I've been on this journey, it just amazes me how I get reactions that are totally different than I used to be. Totally different. And that's the only thing that's changed at the beginning of all this. Now, my confidence level has gone up, but it's only because, once again, it's like we talked about before, it's only because of the increased use of my journey and all the types of things we're talking about that you have to do in order to keep your energy, those type of things. So that's the type of the woman that's going to have that viewpoint that this is a person who, I can actually, mate with and all that kind of stuff. Now, she's not going to say that consciously, but subconsciously, women are hardwired by biology to have that. I mean, they're the ones having the children, and they're the ones that are going to be finding, suitable mates to have the children. And they're going to have someone that they feel safe and protective and all those type of things. Now, they may not say this. I know we have all these movements going on, but the bottom line is still the bottom line, guys. And so that's the type of person. But you do that when you become this male who is on, retention, who is not desperate, chasing women around, things like that. That is the other type of person. Now, women also will get together with males who are, and be happy with those, but they're just happy, which means that they're satisfied, they're content. That's not the type of relationship that you really want. And let me explain the reason why of that. And I'm doing this because the second question I get asked is really about relationships and things like, what type of relationship should you really be in? That was a question one of my students asked. Well, as a male, I believe you should be in a relationship where the woman is highly attracted to you. And that's not doing behaviors that put up with stuff. Like, for instance, don't put up with the BS. We'll talk about that in a separate video. Don't put up with the game playing. Basically, make sure that you are a person who's got goals, you got your journey, and that's the main thing. And if she wants to come along with that, great. If she doesn't and she wants to be a center of attention, then I would say you need to leave and go to something else. Go to another person, right? Because it's not worth your energy, especially if you're going to lose your energy because of it. And I'm talking about emotional and physical type of energy. But that's the type of the viewpoint women have. They have, especially as women get older, and it's primarily in the women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, will go ahead and kind of basically look at life and say, okay, I need to settle down, have children, family, things like that. And whether the person is attractive or not, that's not the major goal. Guys, you have to realize, and I'm talking about the guys here, you guys have to realize that women don't look at men the same way men look at women. Men are very visually oriented. This is why the problem, even though women may look at images and things themselves, the problem really is more with men. Because men tend to be the ones who are visual learners, and they're the ones who kind of focus on getting pleasure out of the pictures, out of what they see. And as a result of that, they get very influenced by that, what things look like. And I think that people know that, right? That's why the industries that make money in marketing and all these type of things, PR, and all the stuff you see with the images and the whole, porn business. Okay, go ahead. Thank you. I'll go ahead and say that it's something they make a lot of money on, because they know it's all images, and they know that people get influenced by that kind of stuff and do that. And so the whole idea basically is the idea that you want to go ahead and understand this. If you understand this, you know that the bottom line is that people are going to try to influence you through images. And you have to be very aware of that what glitters is not the gold. But going back to the viewpoints, the women, they will go ahead and find somebody if they're secure, if they're making money, if they're having these type of things, and they're okay with that because it means security to them. And I think that's something that's very important to a lot of women. And I'm not saying all women, but I'm saying a lot of women are that way. Now, if you're that kind of male, you're going to be in trouble as far as I'm concerned, because you're going to be doing a lot of things that need to get done, and the woman is going to be in the relationship, but the woman is not attracted to you. And if the woman is not attracted to you, then they will eventually do a number of different things. They may or may not cheat, depending if they find someone who has, who attracts them more. But at the worst case, they're going to be naggers and criticizers. They're going to criticize you all the time. And the question then becomes is how long you're going to be able to kind of take that. Don't be afraid of losing relationships. I think that's the key, guys. You cannot be afraid of walking away. If you're not being treated with respect, walk away. And we'll do another video on that a little bit later. But you have to be able to walk away from a relationship and not worry about it. But when you don't have a confidence level, you tend to do that a lot. Because what you do is you're afraid of rejection. You're afraid this person's not going to like you. And so what you do is end up doing these type of things and actually kind of almost being a slave in your own cage there, right? And so you don't want to do that. So bottom line, my 1%ers and my warriors, the bottom line is that you have two types of viewpoints here we've been talking about. One is the person who's really attracted to you, and the other person is someone who's happy with you, but they're only happy because they're not attracted, but they're content, they're okay. You don't want the second one. You want the first one. You want a combination, actually, of both, but you really want the first one. And the way you generate that is being on your journey, being a confident person, and be attractive to people because of the way you kind of say things and do things. And that comes out of goals, purposes, and things. You're revolving your life around yourself and trying to get things done that you want to get done. You're not revolving your life around somebody else, because that person, no person wants that. And that person is going to find ways to get out of it. They may be happy and content for a little while, but in the long run, then they're not going to be happy, and they're going to find ways to move away from the relationship if they can. All right, guys, so enough for this one. We'll come back with another one probably after I get done teaching and on the way home. And 1%ers, warriors, have a great day. Battle on.